Yeah, here we are outside the council building.
Stephan Willams, where are you? Our feet are turning blue. Stephan Willams, where are you? Our feet are turning blue. Stephan Willams, where are you? Our feet are turning blue. Stephan Willams, where are you? Our feet are turning blue. Stephan Willams, where are you? Our feet are turning blue. Stephan Willams, where are you? Our feet are turning blue. Stephan Willams, where are you? Our feet are turning blue.
Alright, we're here with Gus, which is the organiser for this protest here in early December, and I just want to find out from him what he feels he's gathered everyone here for and what he hopes to achieve.
Stephan Willams lied to get into office. He promised to vote against any increase in tuition fees. Next Thursday he's going to sit on the fence or even vote for a plan which would mean kids in Bristol can't get a can't go to university and can't get the education they deserve. Stephan said he supported the EMA, which lets kids from lower income families go to college and get a good education. His government has scrapped it. That's not okay. That's why we're here. We're here to tell Stephan that we want him to vote with us and not with the Tory government.
Okay, so how do you feel about the turnout today then?
We're pleased with the turnout. It's clearly a cold day, it's a school day, and so we don't have the mass of school kids coming out like we did have before. But we've got lots of people here passionate about what they're here for, passionate about stopping an increase in fees, passionate about keeping EMA, which keeps kids in school who wouldn't be otherwise.
What do you say to people who say that there's about the people who come to these protests who aren't actually students?
Well, not just students are affected by tuition fees. Their parents are affected by tuition fees, their grandparents are affected by tuition fees. If you have a family, not much money, but you want your kids to go to college and you've just had £30 a week EMA taken away from you, that really matters. I'm surprised there aren't more parents out here because these issues are affecting them just as much as they are affecting students.
Okay, Gus, it was nice talking to you.
Thanks very much.
Okay, so on a completely peaceful protest, with very clear direction. They're looking for someone to come out. Now we have horses.
They're slowly sneaking around us, bro.
So
behind that leg, think of the questions that concern your families, don't just keep it to education. Speak to the people who are being hurt by this government's cuts and ask them about those. We want as many questions as possible.
Sorry? Liars are an abomination.
And think of questions that you'd like to ask. Sure, Stephen will answer them. No questions like that. No one's allowed to ask about the royal wedding as well.
Three staff from City Academy here, just to help the kids out over there who are getting a bit of hassle. Because supposedly City Academy's shut now, and if there's some staff here to vouch for them, that'd be brilliant.
Big round of applause for Special Branch. Guys, to the microphone to the rear.
So the way this is going to work, hopefully, is a question time on the lawn of the council house. And so, would you, to start off, I'll start off as chair, ask a question.
No, that's not what
we can't see.
I'm in the middle of the
Would are you refusing to answer questions from the crowd?
This is a stunt. If you want me to talk to them, I'll talk to them.
Are you refusing to answer questions from the crowd?
Well, Stephen, you can hear him because he's using a megaphone.
Are you refusing to answer questions from the crowd? Have we got a question? You can have my megaphone to answer the questions.
Give them the megaphone.
Who'd like to ask a question? Hands! Question there!
Stephen, I am a first-time voter and I voted for you at this election on the premise that you would actually keep this pledge and stick up for students because they do need education. You do need education to be accessible. I've read this policy and I did email you this. All you did was have one of your aides actually send me an email saying, oh, I hope you just read this policy. This is like, it's just copy and pasted basically. I'm very, very aware of the policy and I did reply with a very long email asking you how you can justify disillusioning such a large portion of your electorate, many of whom are voting for the first time and did have a bit of faith in democracy for once, and then to come out and then actually go back on such a massive pledge, which so many people voted for. You have done. How are you going to vote? How are you going to vote?
How are you going to vote?
You say that to him.
How are you going to vote?
Speaking to it.
Speaking to it.
Right, I'm going to answer the question that I was just asked. First of all, an awful lot of assumptions have been made, both about me and my party, perhaps to get some of you here today. I've not actually said to anybody how I'm going to vote on Thursday.
You
said to the electorate that you're going to vote against tonight.
Do you want to listen or not?
Let him talk.
Yes? I've not actually said to anybody how I'm going to vote. All I have said all the way through is that I'm going to weigh up all the elements of the package of proposals that the government has put together, many of which were in the Liberal Democrat manifesto. There is a fair deal for part-time students. 40% of the people who study for undergraduate degrees in this country are doing so part-time. I know some of you who are students here from Bristol University probably aren't in that situation, but 40% of students around the country are. They paid cash fees up front throughout the lifetime of the last Labour government, and we said we would end that and put them on the same basis as full-time students. That's in the government's proposals. We also said in the manifesto that we'd have a national bursary scheme for students from poorer backgrounds, in particular those who are on free school meals. That's in the proposals that the government is putting forward. Those are two very good things that are in the package. But, yes, and I recognise this, we also said we didn't favour a rise in tuition fees. And that's the element I'm wrestling with. There are two.
Stephen, you said you haven't told anyone how you're going to vote on fees, but you told the whole electorate how you're going to vote on fees. You pledged to vote against them.
You signed it.
Counter megaphones here. I haven't actually finished my sentence yet. So there are two things in what the government is proposing that are new things that didn't exist before, that are a huge improvement on the current situation. Both of those things are in the Liberal Democrat manifesto. The only reason that they're there at all in the government proposals is because the Lib Dems are part of this coalition government. Now, as I was saying before Gus from the Labour Party interrupted me, I think that needs to be put on record. You may not be, but he is. And he has the other microphone. Is that the rise in tuition...
Stephan Willams from the Tory Party!
Do you want to try and do a wide shot from another angle?
Stephan Willams, we know you. You're a Tory too.
Stephen, do you deny saying this?
That the rise in tuition fees is not something I support. Okay? It's not something I support, but the package of proposals is a package. So I will weigh up what to do when the vote comes on Thursday. I will not be voting with the government. I'm very clear about that. I will not be voting for the government's proposals, even though I think a significant part of it is a huge improvement for the students who study on a part-time basis and for students like myself who go to university or went to university from a poorer background. So I will either not vote, abstain, or I will vote against, or I will vote against the government on this particular issue. I genuinely haven't decided yet. I'm still weighing up all the options. I'm sorry if you felt you had a standard response.
If you vote against this, if you vote for this, I will never ever vote for your party again.
Well, I just said I was not. The one thing I'm not going to do is vote for it.
Abstaining is a vote for. The government
Abstaining
will,
is not.
if the Liberal
It's
Democrats
not voting
abstain,
for.
the government
What about the EMA, Stephen? Thousands of students in Bristol.
No.
You're not going to answer the EMA question?
I'm going back to speak to my constituents.
We are your constituents! We are your constituents! Shame on you!
blue. Stephan Willams, shame on you. Shame on you for turning blue. Stephan Willams, shame on you. Shame on you for turning blue. Stephan Willams, shame on you. Shame on you for turning blue. Stephan Willams, shame on you. Shame on you for turning blue. Stephan Willams, shame on you. Shame on you for turning blue. Stephan Willams, shame on you. Shame on you for turning blue. Stephan Willams, shame on you. Shame on you for turning blue. Stephan Willams, shame on you. Shame on you for turning blue. Stephan Willams, shame on you. Shame on you for turning blue. Stephan Willams, shame on you. Vote no! 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 Vote no!
Okay, so how do you feel that went then?
Stephan Willams refused to answer questions on EMA. EMA is going to devastate poor families when it's removed. It's going to mean people from poor backgrounds can't go to university and can't go to college. He refused to answer questions from his constituents on that. That's unacceptable. He lied and said the vote next Thursday is on the whole package. It's not. It's just on tuition fees. Stephan stood in front of all these people and told a direct lie. That's not okay. He's done it, and then he snuck back off into his council chamber with all the police to protect him instead of answering the questions that lots of people had. We had hundreds of people with their hands up wanting to ask questions. He didn't let them. Is that democracy? And then, even better, he went in there to see his constituents. Well, Stephan, if you're watching this, your constituents are right here and they want to have answers. You're not
I'm your constituent, Stephan. I voted for you. I live down the road and you didn't answer our questions.